hate when that happens. All right.
Am I in there?
Oh, we in there.
Probably, I should.
Let's. I'm gonna edit all this out. So let's get the camera situated. I swear, I hit that button one more time. This is what happens when you don't set it up. That's not pre-recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you good?
Mm-hmm. So so I think we should.
I need to sit back. Maybe move this.
Face off. So we're gonna be talking to each other. Yeah.
All right, fans. Welcome to another episode of A-Side Boxing Podcast. Today we're going to talk about the big clash of the Titans between Crawford and Spence that happened over the weekend. Also going to talk a little bit about, before we start with that, because that's like the big thing, right? But another big thing happened in boxing this weekend. And that was the Cool Boy Steph winning for
The monster.
On
Tuesday.
Anyway, yeah, so that happened like Tuesday.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and kick it off. Again, if you don't know, I'm Ray Massey, I'm your host, and Carlos Massey, he's co-host. We're going to get it started. We wish we had our buddy Marlon here, but we'll try to do right by him in this episode. All right, so Carlos, hey, man, let's start with that Inouye fight. What did you think between Cool Boy Steph and Inouye?
Man, that fight, it surprised me to a certain extent. I thought Cool Boy was going to box a little bit, more. But the monster, man, he's hit. He was very just fast. He was more stronger than him. Had hints of Manny Pacquiao. I think he was just a little too much for Stephen Fulton. I thought he was going to be able to box him. But sometimes when you don't have the power to keep your opponent off you, that hits hard, that can become a problem. So we saw that in that fight. But it was exciting. If you don't know the monster, you know him now. He's here to stay.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed immediately when I was watching that fight, it just looked like for all of the skills and ability that Cool Boy Steph had, he couldn't nullify that assault that was going on in the ring. It just felt like Inouye was too much of everything. Too much speed, too much footwork, too much power.
I agree.
And I think his goal and my prediction was that Steph would win it because he's a superior boxer. It made me actually scared about my prediction in the Terrence Crawford fight because I was like, oh crap, this blows up my whole theory that the superior boxer will always be just a puncher because power is in. But in that Inouye fight, he was more than just a puncher, and he was he boxed. He was outboxing. He was fast.
Yeah.
The jab was on point. It was fascinating. It was faster than Cool Boy Steph. He was initiating every exchange, and I could just tell that the power was a little bit too much for him. Fulton, and he just couldn't really get containment of Inouye in a way that would be effective in the long run. He never got the body work started either. So
I think a problem. His biggest problem was, I think he was, like you said, Inouye was faster, stronger, more athletic than him. Like when Inouye threw his shots, he threw his whole body in there. Every shot he threw. Fulton, I was pulling for Fulton, but when you don't have the power to keep people off, and then on top of that, he wasn't letting his hands go like he normally do. When he fought Figueroa was, Figueroa, a high volume puncher. he let his hands go. And just before he got knocked out, I seen him. He let his hand go a little bit, and he had success landing those shots. But I think the monster was like, man, we can match blow for blow and see who's the hardest. And he came up short. But one thing I do respect about him after the fight, that they was asking, "Do you want to go again?" It's like he ain't looking to go back right now. So yeah, I respect that fighters fighting, and then may the best man win, and other than moving on, so you don't hold nobody up for like a year or something because you want a rematch and you got punished. So
yeah, and it is what it is. Remember, it's a fight game. Sometimes a fight game is cruel, and I would say just in this year alone, I mean I take my hat off to Cool Boy because he didn't have to fight. He did not have to make this fight. It's about the best fighting the best. I am so glad and it's so refreshing that you see fighting boxing nowadays. Well, boxing is coming back, where you ain't got these guys that's protecting these undefeated records, trying to be a carbon copy of what Floyd Mayweather was, instead of just being themselves and giving the fans what they want. And again, I said it before and I'll say it again. Some of my best fighters had my most favorite fighters in history. They had losses on their record. I feel like what you do after the loss actually defines you as a champion. And you go back and do it again, and then go and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Be able to repeat that formula that shows that it's something different about you. You didn't just happen to be a champion. It's something that's repeatable. And it just shows that these guys are fearless and they don't care about the records. It's about the glory. And look, they all made money. I know they made good money in these fights. Which actually leads us into the big fight.
Yeah, the big fish.
Spence versus Crawford.
Crawford, yeah.
What was the prediction again? Let me recall it.
Right.
You said 50-50. I think you were sitting right here. You in this spot.
I was on. It was an unjudged thing. It wasn't. Yeah, I was 50-50. It was one of them 50-50 fights. I thought it was 50-50, but the world was shocked on Saturday. I ain't gonna say shocked, but it was Crawford won in dramatic fashion.
Okay, he did. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But
so
we stopped at who had 50.
So you had.
So what did I have?
You had Crawford.
I had Crawford.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And what did Marlon have?
Spence.
He had Spence. So Marlon, wrong. Spence. Right. Carlos was undecided, so he can't even get in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm not.
So it's just only me. Once again, fans, of us three, you're starting to see a trend. Who's the best, fight predictor, I guess.
But I was with Crawford at first,
but you got scared.
No. What I like to do is, before I give a prediction, I like to get a good look at them.
All right.
Like the weigh-in. I want to see, their muscle tone, see if they face, something in. See, did he have a problem making weight? Is he drained?
Yeah.
Did he miss weight?
Yeah.
I gotta look at all that stuff because all that stuff plays factors in how you're gonna perform in a fight.
Yeah, and hats off to these guys. First off, man, these guys really put the level of class into boxing. These guys ain't had to cuss each other mom out. They ain't do all kinds of crazy public throwing each other off stage. They ain't do none of that crazy stuff, man.
Right.
These guys shook hands, congratulated each other on making the fight, recognized each other's greatness. Two black men just in the ring, warriors, acknowledging each other's accomplishments in the ring, and still at the same time saying, hey, but you ain't gonna beat me. You know what I'm saying? And that was, man, I'm telling you, that was one of the best parts of just watching the build up to the fight. I don't know. I said from the beginning, I thought that, Crawford was just a more rounded fighter. He had just more in his toolbox. He had an arsenal. And I I didn't see what with Spence. I saw it. I knew he had the jab, and I knew he got that left and that right hook to the body. And it was almost a repeated step. You ain't gonna stop it. I ain't gonna. He didn't really add to that arsenal from what the fights I've seen him in, and it was a successful formula. So he didn't build on it. It was just repeated over and over and over, and in that process, he steamrolled opponents. Then he ran into Crawford.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So in that fight, what you think determined? Were you surprised by anything that happened in that fight? That thing that didn't happen?
Was I surprised? Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised that I thought Crawford would win the fight. Not the way he did it though. Mm-hmm. Not in such dramatic fashion where he just annihilated Spence. Spence couldn't do anything. I mean, nothing. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. I was happy, but then a moment in the fight, I actually got sad, man. I was like, dang, man. A lot of people going to try to, and it's already happened. People are dogging and ridiculing the man for just not being a better man that night. Let me tell you something, man. This fight game is tough. Yeah. It is merciless. And the mental pressure just on a fighter to be under those hot lights and to come to all these press conferences and to have these exploding entourages and to just still be, the face of boxing and sign autographs. I mean, and train 24/7. It's really no room to just have peace because you're under the spotlight. So I take my hat off to Spence for, again, like you said on the stage, giving us this gift because it was both of them. But going into this fight, this wasn't an option that, Spence really had to take. We knew that, see that, when I say something positive, that's my inner positiveness is radiating in this room and making everything brighter. But yeah, no, he didn't have to do it in the end.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad. You know what? Like you said, I respect both of them because they took the fight. They ain't pull a Pacquiao Mayweather and do it 10, 15 years down the road. They took this fight while they was in their prime and they risked their perfect record to entertain the fans. Only thing I'm thinking about, when I first seen the ring, if I was judging off the ring walk, I would have won for Crawford. My man came out with the fishnet. I think he was in Earl's head a little bit. I was telling people before the fight, I said, man, Earl don't look right. Like, his face don't look right. My boy said, nah, that's how he look. I'm like, nah, he don't look right. And Crawford was just so poised. He was focused. He was tuned in. And the big thing about a lot of these fights, when you get to that level, one thing, don't upplay the moment, right? You got one shot. Don't upplay it. Don't overthink it. Just get in there and execute what you've been training on over the last few months. And man, Crawford just, he done shot himself all the way to the top with this one. All the way to the top.
Yeah.
All the way to the top. Like, when you won't hear people just saying, well, they say, who pound for pound? Most time people say Tank over the record. They don't say Terrence Crawford and Tank. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think and that's the thing. You want to be not just a great fighter, but you want to be relevant. You want to be, have that star struck type of thing going on. So I was surprised EJ took a beating like that. It was a beating. Like you said, I almost felt, I'm like, dang, man, I don't want to see him going like that. Yeah. He was getting touched bad, and I think Crawford kind of like, at one point, you could have took him out, but he just said, let me slow down. Yeah. And let me just really break him down because, what they say, a wounded animal is still dangerous. Still dangerous. And I also say, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, the great fights didn't really just start with Errol Spence. Mm-hmm. Again, it's Tank Davis. He was a big part of these super mega fights.
And also Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder. They don't talk too much.
They don't talk too much about it. Let me tell you something. You know, and Wilder, if you're watching this, because you responded to one of my comments before. I meant no disrespect, but I will say, Deontay Wilder. He embodies that warrior, and that warrior mentality that you just don't see. Yeah. You just don't see, and so we have all of these examples of young, talented, Black athletes that are coming out here putting it off. Clarissa Shields. I mean, come on, we gotta be right. Bone Gardner. I mean, they're coming out here. Shadeja Green. Hey, Shadeja. Hey, Shadeja. But yeah, she was on one of our episodes, man. We've been treated this year and the previous year with some really good fights, man. And I'm into seeing what's coming on in the next couple months and in this year end. While I would like to see a Spence Crawford rematch.
Now let me ask you a question, because my phone been ringing off the hook before the fight. The homie's been calling me up. All right. And this came up.
What?
Do you think that they should do it again since Earl lost the way he lost? Should that be a rule now moving forward? If you really get beat bad, like, are you gonna do something differently the next fight?
Yeah, man, it's not for us to say.
It's not for us to say.
Let me say some styles make fights, and we should give the and I think it's just right. And these guys are noble, man. Give the champion. Both were champions, but give Spence an opportunity to, if he wants to redeem himself, let him run it back.
But this can and be careful. This can go be good or this can go bad. Because if you lose twice the Bud and he beats you the same way, stock can go.
Who cares? You make money, man.
It's all about that.
These guys are securing their futures. With $25 million alone, man, let me tell you something, man. I'm humble and I'm pretty sure if somebody just blessed me with $1 million, man, I show them how to stretch it. But these guys, I think the purse was like $28 million. Did they get $28 million a piece?
They got some bread.
They got some money. Somebody comment and let me know exactly how much they got on that. But I think a rematch, I will be careful. Bud already moved up to welterweight. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to move up to 54. That's another jump.
Well, I think Spence was saying that. He would say one making no excuses, but he said the weight has been bothering both fighters.
Yeah.
So Spence like, man, I don't know if I can make that 47 again. Because he did look a little drained to me. Like,
he looked dry.
He looked small.
Nah, he didn't look when he fought Lamar Peterson. Man, he was chiseled. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was
this dude. I'm like, he ever
going.
Yeah, I saw him. I said, oh,
that young man. Young man.
Was real. And I said, damn, I wonder how putting your body through that
ringer.
Through that ringer just to get in that physical condition and then letting it go. And then coming back and bringing it back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, that's wear and tear on your back.
But we all know we used to fight, like, you probably walk around.
Yeah,
he probably walk around like 165 or something like that.
I'm just saying, if you look at his physique then, and you look at his physique now, it was different. He looked soft. Yeah. He looked
small.
Dry.
Yeah, he was like bulked
up. Yeah, everything. And everybody's saying he seemed like he was off.
Yeah, he looked like he was off. He looked like mine.
These fighters, they're not. When has he ever been rah-rah and cursing people out, throwing cheers?
No, he's never been like that.
Listen, I know people want to make excuses because they don't understand what they saw. Mm-hmm. But in the sport of boxing, styles make fights. And at the end of the day, just like when we watched, what was the fight? Mayorga versus, I'm going back, yeah. So remember when Mayorga fought? What's my man name? He got killed.
You talking about Mattel?
Not Jermaine.
I'm tripping. What am I talking about? I'm all real. You talking about when the hunger or something? Right?
No, he got shot at the gas station. Give
I
me
know
a
you're
second.
talking about
Vernon
Forrest.
Forrest.
That's
So,
what I meant to say.
so Mayorga, Vernon Forrest. You see, Mayorga destroyed Vernon Forrest, and then Vernon and got the belt. Then Shane Mosley destroyed Mayorga and got the belt, and then Vernon Forrest destroyed Shane Mosley. Styles made fights, man, and just because we saw a really poor execution, I think that's how Earl may want to characterize this. It was just a one night showing. He was the better man that night. I don't think that means he's going to be like that 6-7 months from now. I would probably want to fight at catchweight. I wouldn't want to go full 154. I would try to do like a catchweight or something. Yeah. Let him get a couple extra pounds.
Because Bud, he said he might go up too. So
Bud said that.
Yeah. That's gonna be crazy.
You got personal intel on that. Somebody told you that.
I mean, all access, Showtime. He might go up after this fight.
Okay.
But so listen. I know he said they both been talking about going 54. So they've been at 47 for the longest, right?
Yeah.
So moving forward, who do you think we can see Earl fight, like they be a bounce back fight if he don't take the rematch? I was thinking about that because right now the sharks in the water, they smell the blood. They seen that performance and they say, hey,
true.
If I can get the Earl chin, I got a shot. So who do you think would be a good matchup for him to
try to come back? I think I would like to see.
Don't say it.
I'd like to see Earl against Zoo.
He way too much though.
No.
Well, they come in.
I would like to see them come
against Tim Zoo.
That'll be it. Yeah, I think I like to see Earl move up, and because Zoo is more than Earl.
Zoo is 54.
He's 54.
Charlo's supposed to 40.
Yeah. I like to see Earl move up to 54. Hit.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I like to see in a perfect world. Y'all probably gonna hate me for this. I still want to see Crawford do what he said he was going to do. He said after I beat Crawford, Crawford said after I beat Spence, I'm your boy too. Charlo. I like to see that happen. I like to see him actually do what he said. I like all those guys, but Charlo, he kind of plays the villain. He kind of mouthy. He talks a lot of trash. I like to see if he actually does that, because remember during the fight, at the end of the fight, he climbed the top ropes. He was talking to Charlo about.
I don't think he want that. I don't want that. Because Crawford just proved to the world. He been proved it, even back when he had the cornrows. He had one of the most vicious knockouts I've seen. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching him for a while, just building up.
Against Benavidez?
No, he fought something. This back when he had it, when he was trying to get the cornrows going and all. His joint was low. Man, he hit this dude so hard, his neck snapped, looked like he fell off his head. I said, "Damn, who was this? Terrence Crawford, Omaha, Nebraska." I said, "Dude, he switched." And he see the thing about Crawford that make him so dangerous. He make adjustments on the fly. I saw him getting touched up one time, and I seen what he did. He made the adjustment. It wasn't working. It wasn't time though. Then he went back regular. He waited about mid-round, then he did it again. He switched back over. Everything was landing. Everything was landing. Took him out the game. But what I'm saying is, Terrence Crawford is, to me, like right now, one of the most complete fighters. He was so super focused in that match. Like, he didn't care about nothing that was going on around him. He believed in his mind, and he put that in reality, what he was going to do. He believed that he was going to take him out.
Fair enough.
But I want to see the jump back on that. I do want to see you know what I'm about to say. Everybody been talking about this since the Spence fight. Crawford next opponent. You know what I'm about to say. Only one.
Give me a second.
Boots gonna be up. What you think about that? But do Boots go through
I like
Spence? Or do
Boots.
Boots go through? I'm saying
I
Boots
like
go through Spence. Like if Spence stay at 47, I say,
Crawford
well,
too strong for Boots.
yeah, he might be too strong.
He
I
might be too
think he
strong.
beat Boots. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
do Boots fight Spence and then go to Crawford? Should he or should he? Because he's the mandatory for that belt.
Yeah.
He's the mandatory for that belt.
Man, get it out the way, man. Let it be done. And, yeah, I mean, you can't like these fighters and have them live in a glass jar and not fight each other. That's what they became champion. Bring it on. But I'm not going to predict who's going to win that fight because I like both fighters. I really didn't want to predict the Spence Crawford, but since y'all, we're prone to argue against each other, so I had to pick somebody. So I don't know, but
Safe money definitely would have been on Crawford.
Safe
money.
Yeah, safe
I would have gone with Vegas on this one.
No, I don't think anybody
Vegas
will. I think, and I follow a lot of pages, so I heard folks talking about, hey, well, Spence had an injury. I'm like, nah, we can't use that, man.
It's always gonna be something, though.
I mean, and then I saw, oh, well, he looked bad. Like, fans, this is a fan-friendly platform. Listen, but we got to keep each other accountable. Let's be honest.
Right.
Former fighters, we both used to box, right? It is so hard to constantly reshape your body into championship level, or not even championship level. Make a fight with.
Yeah.
Hey, try doing that, right?
Yeah.
In high school, I was what, 119 pounds?
Yeah.
Try to make 119 pounds, as a 17-year-old senior, about to turn 18. Man, almost impossible. And while you're still growing and all that other stuff. So even as men, your body continuously grows. You become a father. It grows. You get that bloat coat. I mean,
speak for yourself.
Man, well, I ain't saying I got it. I said you get it. But anyway, but that kind of stuff happens, man. So you got to be a little. You got to be sympathetic and have a little bit of, or have a little bit of empathy for the champ who lost. One, he put it all on the line, and two, everybody can't do this. That's why you don't have a whole bunch of unified all the champions, or unified or undisputed champions. It's not a lot of them. It's very hard to do. So when you see guys who do it, and then they take risk. He could have played it safe, and I ain't taking a shot and went like 60-0 or 70-0 or done, But it's not about the old man. It's about the legacy. And this here was a legacy fight. Win, lose, or draw. Spence has already submitted himself into the yearbook, in the history books.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he should. I mean, he's done so much. I hear somebody say, "Hey, he was dehydrated." Somebody say that, "Hey, Spence ain't been the same since the accident." I still think he's dangerous, like the fight. It's just that, sometimes, like I wouldn't run it back if I was Spence right now, because sometimes some people just got your number.
Yeah.
Like you said, styles make fights. That equals to I got your number.
Yeah.
And you don't want to so you got to go back to the drawing board. If that weight the issue, go up to 54. I'm quite sure he's gonna be destroying stuff at 54.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's our take. What's any fights coming up that we need to be watching?
I know we got one in our hometown. The MGM, we got one coming up on August 12th. Gary Russell. Little brother fight. And I don't know why I said
no, we got.
Oh, wait, no. Shadasia fighting too, right?
Shadasia's fighting
on the zone, right?
Yes, on the zone. And one of our guys. Oh yeah. Jordan White. Yeah. Jordan's fighting. Short dog. He's fighting. So make sure you guys tune in to Showtimes, because that's gonna be the next Showtime fight. Big hitter. He's gonna be a main event on it. So be on the lookout for this guy. Young, high amateur. He has been in the lab over here, and we did not get him on the podcast. We literally just talked, and that's crazy. We won't repeat that mistake. So until we see you guys again next time, tune in to A-Side Boxing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Next time we will bring the weird guy back out, Marlon
Candyman.
Parker,
Candyman.
aka Candyman, aka Weird
Say it
Guy with the
3 times
glasses. All right, you guys. Well, see ya.
That's long too. 30 minutes.